The message reached Earth at 400 hours, carried on quantum waves that bent reality itself. New Horizon colony gone. 300,000 souls reduced to ash and radiation signatures. The Xylothian collective had made their statement clear. Humanity would bow, or humanity would burn. Rose Martinez stood in the war room of Terran Defense Command, her weathered hands gripping the edge of the tactical display. At 52, she had seen enough conflict to know when diplomacy had breathed its last. The holographic images of New Horizons' smoldering remains floated before her. Homes, schools, farms, all atomized by plasma bombardment. Her jaw tightened as she watched the looped footage of civilian transports being vaporized mid-evacuation. "Admiral, the Council is calling for restraint," a junior officer ventured cautiously. Rose turned, her dark eyes cold as the void between stars. "The Council can go to hell. Every gun fires. That's the order." Across the Sol system, humanity mobilized with a fury that would reshape galactic history. Earth's orbital shipyards erupted in activity, pouring out warships by the hundreds. Mars foundries worked triple shifts, forging weapons that hummed with barely contained destruction. The belt miners, those rough-hewn pioneers, stripped asteroids bare to feed the war machine. Humanity had been patient, had played the diplomat, had bent over backward to accommodate the older species who viewed them as upstart children. No more. Eliam Chen received his deployment orders on Luna Base, where he served as a tactical systems engineer. At 28, he was part of the generation that had grown up among the stars, born on colony worlds and raised on stories of Earth's indomitable spirit. He'd never believed they'd actually need to prove it. His hands moved across the console with practiced efficiency, initializing the weapon systems of the TDS Righteous Fury, a new dreadnought class that the Terran military had been developing in secret. The ship was a monster, bristling with railguns, missile pods, and the crown jewel, humanity's first functioning quantum disruptor, a weapon that could tear ships apart at the molecular level. "Eliam," his commanding officer called over the comm. "We've got 36 hours before the fleet jumps. I need those disruptors calibrated perfectly. This is our one shot to show the galaxy what happens when you murder our people." "They'll be ready, sir," Eliam replied, his voice steady despite the adrenaline coursing through his veins. The Xylothians won't know what hit them. What the galaxy didn't understand, what they had never understood, was that humanity's greatest strength wasn't their technology or their numbers. It was their absolute refusal to accept defeat. While species like the Xylothians had evolved on peaceful worlds with abundant resources, humanity had clawed its way up from a planet that tried to kill them at every turn. Ice ages, plagues, predators themselves. Earth had thrown everything at humanity, and humanity had survived it all. The Terran fleet assembled beyond Neptune's orbit, the largest military formation humanity had ever fielded. 200 warships from sleek destroyers to massive dreadnoughts, all bearing the blue and green emblem of Earth. Rose stood on the bridge of the flagship Terra's Vengeance, watching the final ship slip into formation. "All vessels report ready, Admiral," the communications officer announced. Rose allowed herself a thin smile. "Then let's go remind the galaxy why they should have left us alone. All ships jump on my mark." The fleet vanished in a cascade of twisted spacetime, crossing light years and heartbeats through humanity's proprietary jump drive technology, another little surprise they'd kept hidden. From prying galactic eyes, they emerged in the Xylothian home system like an avenging angel clothed in fire and fury. The alien defense fleet, confident in their numerical superiority and millennia of military tradition, moved to intercept. They had destroyed New Horizon with contemptuous ease. These humans would be no different. They were catastrophically wrong. Eliam watched his displays light up with targeting solutions as the Righteous Fury unleashed its arsenal. The quantum disruptors fired, invisible beams that made Xylothian warships simply cease to exist, their molecular bonds severed in microseconds. Railgun slugs, accelerated to relativistic speeds, punched through shields and armor like they were tissue paper. Missile swarms darkened the space between the fleets, each warhead carrying enough antimatter to vaporize a city. But it was more than just firepower. Humanity had studied their enemies, learned their tactics, exploited their weaknesses with ruthless efficiency. The Xylothians fought with rigid doctrine, centuries-old strategies refined to mathematical precision. Humans fought like the scrappy survivors they were, unpredictable, adaptive, willing to try things no sane military theorist would consider. Rose directed the battle with cold precision, her commands terse and absolute. Wing 7 collapse on their left flank. I want their carriers disabled, not destroyed. Let them watch. All dreadnoughts focus fire on their command ship. Cut off the head. The battle lasted 6 hours. When it ended, the Xylothian home fleet was scrap metal drifting in the void. Humanity hadn't just won. They had dominated, had shown such overwhelming superiority that the very foundation of galactic military thought cracked under the weight of it. But Rose wasn't finished. Open a channel to the Xylothian homeworld, she ordered. All frequencies, all languages. I want every being in this system to hear this. Her image appeared on every screen, every display, every communication device on the planet below. When she spoke, her voice carried the weight of 300,000 dead crying out for justice. You obliterated New Horizon. You murdered our children, our farmers, our teachers, our dreamers. You thought we would negotiate. You thought we would be reasonable. You were wrong. She paused, letting the silence hang heavy. We are Terran. We are human. And we do not forget. We do not forgive. Every colony you touch, every human life you threaten, we will answer with fire that will light up the galaxy. This is your only warning. Stay away from humanity's worlds, or what happened here today will seem like mercy. The transmission ended. Across the galaxy, species that had barely noticed humanity's existence suddenly took very close notice indeed. Alium powered down his weapon systems, watching the tactical display clear of hostile contacts. He felt no joy in the destruction, no triumph in the victory, only a grim satisfaction that justice, brutal, absolute justice, had been served. Rose turned from the view screen to face her crew. Set course for home. Our people need to know they're safe now. They need to know that humanity protects its own, no matter the cost. As the Terran fleet turned toward home, they left behind a burning lesson for any species foolish enough to test humanity's resolve again. The age of mankind, being the galaxy's naive newcomers, had ended in fire and fury. A new era had begun, one where the name human carried weight, commanded respect, and promised terrible retribution to any who threatened Earth's children among the stars. The galaxy had caught flame, and in that fire, humanity had been reforged into something the cosmos had never seen before. A species that would fight for every life, defend every inch, and never ever stop until justice was done.